a valley of very dry bones. The very dry in that text is important because the author wishes to remove any doubt at all of the presence of life in that desolate place. Absolutely no life and no hope. The nation Israel has just been ransacked. The temple has been destroyed and lies in ruins, and the faithful have by and large been carried away into exile in Babylon. It's not a good time. This is no joking matter. And yet, in the midst of this pile of dry bones, God promises to breathe new life into the people of Israel. What an audacious claim. And certainly a vivid image. And may I inject also one that conjures up some humorous images in our mind. It's meant to evoke amazement, as in, what? You must be kidding. Them bones gonna rise again? Receive new bodies, moving around, dancing, hope yet alive in the midst of hopelessness? Is that a vision that is true to life for you? Have you ever experienced places like this where God shows up in extreme situations? If you've been to a place where you have felt very dry, where you have not received any breath you require, you need the breath of new life, is there anything in this passage that gives you hope for your future? Could it be true? Blessed are those who weep and mourn, for one day you shall laugh, that you will turn my mourning, O God, into dancing. This is a good place to pause and just reflect, how does God's story for me today become a part of my imagination for myself in these times today? In the Gospel, in chapter 11, a man became ill. This was a very close friend to Jesus. His name is Lazarus. And his sisters Mary and Martha are known to us already in that Gospel. The sisters sent a message to Jesus saying, "The one whom you love is ill." And though Jesus loved Mary and Martha and Lazarus, he didn't drop everything and rush to the bedside of his friend. He stayed 2 days longer. And finally he said to his disciples, "Our friend Lazarus has fallen asleep, but I'm going there to awaken him." His disciples said, "Well, Jesus, if he's just fallen asleep, he'll be okay." And Jesus responded, "No, Lazarus is quite dead." Literally, the Greek text reads. When Jesus arrived, he found that Lazarus had been already in the tomb for 4 days. And so we see Martha and then Mary coming to Jesus, both of them saying some of the same things. "Lord, if you would have been here, my brother would still be alive." And Jesus will say to them, each in a little bit different wording, "I am the resurrection and the life. And those who believe in me, even though they die, they'll live." Neither of them quite understand Jesus. And finally he asks, "Where have you laid him?" And they say, "Lord, come and see." Jesus asked for the stone that was blocking the tomb to be rolled away. And then he cries out in a loud voice, "Lazarus, come forth. Lazarus, come out." extreme situations, like today, or like a valley of bones, of very dry bones, or a man laid in a tomb quite dead. This biblical storytelling uses emphatic underscoring that what a human being like you and I see as hopelessness, God sees differently. The humor is in our human inability to see things as God sees them. In the movie The Princess Bride, the fellow travelers of Wesley bring his lifeless, thought to be dead body to Miracle Max, character played by Billy Crystal. And he says, there's a big difference between mostly dead and all dead. In part because the biblical story retelling of extreme situations, I can't help but imagine future storytelling about the times we're currently in. It was so bad. How bad was it? It was so bad, and it is so bad. We are living in a time that is no joke. Well, we are right to take very seriously what's happening around us. But may we not heal through laughter that arises when we recount only a God like our God could have brought us through. Only a God who breathes his spirit into dry bones, making them alive. Only a God who calls us out of our isolation and fear. Only a God of resurrecting power could allow you and I to imagine, yes, imagine, even now, even in our today, to laugh with tears of joy. And so I pray, oh Lord, in this moment, in this present extreme situation, breathe on me, O breath of God. Breathe on each one of us. May your words speak to us the nowness of resurrection.